Are there any more questions? No. Okay, thank you very much. We'll move on to the third presentation. It's on effects of television advertisements on food habits of adolescent school children in Galle educational zone. There are 7 authors, NP Jayasekara, MR Jayawardena, UKS Ishara, KHGH Karyavasam, PGCG Kaushalya, PJ Jayasekara, and CJ Vijay Singh. This presentation is also presented by Dr. Nadisha Jayasekara, Faculty of Medicine, University of Ruhuna.
Thank you for your kind introduction, sir. This is a study we conducted in the Galle educational zone among the adolescent school children under the topic Effect of Television Advertisements on Food Habits of Adolescent School Children. As we all know, the consumption of unhealthy food has become a leading cause in childhood obesity and non-communicable diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, and cancers at early stage of their lives. It is similar in Sri Lanka as well as in overseas. And the present younger generation of Sri Lanka seems to consume more unhealthy foods. And as we all know, these children are lured to take these unhealthy foods influenced by the advertisement which are telecasted in between their favorite TV programs, mainly the cartoons. And these immature minds are well entrapped by these advertisements, and it will lure them towards such items. In this study, what we wanted to do was to identify the effects of television advertisements on food habits among school children, so that we collected data on the socio-demographic factors of the students, and as well as the mother's educational level, and the TV viewing duration, and many other things. And moving to the methodology of our study, it was a descriptive cross-sectional study which we conducted among school children of the Galle educational zone. We selected randomly 1 girls' school and 1 boys' school, and from that schools we selected grade 8 students to do this study, and from the grade 8 students we selected 3 classes randomly, and from that we collected a sample of 237 students. And we used a pre-tested self-administered questionnaire to collect data, and we got the ethical approval from the Ethical Review Committee of Faculty of Medicine, University of Ruhuna. And we use exposure to the duration of exposure to the advertisement as, we use the duration of television viewing as a measure of the exposure to the television advertisements. And we defined the frequent consumption of unhealthy foods as consuming 1 or more unhealthy food items once or more daily. And the unhealthy foods we concerned were the foods rich in sugar and salt and fat. As example, instant noodles, soft drinks, ice cream, chocolates, and sweet milk, etc. Moving on to the results of our study, from the sample, majority were males, which were 54%, and there were 46% females. And the majority of the sample were from urban areas, and the majority of the children had parents who have studied beyond general GCE O level in this population. And this table describes the food choices of school children So, as we found, these students are using healthy meals for their main meals, even though they are using unhealthy foods for their extra meals, such as in their school intervals, in between their tuition classes, when they are going on picnics, etc. And we found that frequent users of unhealthy foods are a majority in this sample. When we consider the reasons for selection of unhealthy foods, the majority stated that taste was the leading factor. And we wanted to identify the times of television viewing in the sample. The majority watched television in the afternoon, which was 57%, and 25% of this population watched in either morning, lunchtime, afternoon, or night. It means more than one category. And most of the students in the study spent 1 to 2 hours daily to watch TV. And TV advertisements were the main source of awareness regarding foods in the target population. We wanted to identify the association between mother's educational level and the duration of the television viewing of children, which there was a significant association between these two. And we identified that the children whose mothers had a better educational level watched TV for more than 2 hours. This may be because when mothers are educated, they engage in their jobs, so they are not at their homes, and they get less time to look at the children. That may be the reason for that. And next, we wanted to identify the association between the method of awareness of the foods and unhealthy food habits among school children. So the majority who used unhealthy foods frequently, 74.3, got the awareness of these foods via television. However, we couldn't identify a significant association between the food pattern of children and mothers' educational level. Again, this may be because when mothers are educated, they are engaged in their jobs, so they have less time to prepare meals, so they may be using instant foods to ease their lifestyles. And as well, there wasn't a significant association between the frequency of unhealthy food consumption and the duration of television viewing. Moving on to the discussion, in a study which was conducted in Sri Lanka, it was found that the period of 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. as the peak time of watching television by children. This was similar to our study. And another study reported that the taste preferences are acquired through learning processes, including repeated exposure and positive messaging about various foods. So the TV advertisements, looking at them for a long period can influence the children. Although we cannot predict the long-term influence of exposure to food advertisements in our findings confirms its negative influence on children's food choices in adolescence. Our study revealed a higher frequency of consumption of unhealthy food among children who reported television advertisement as the main source of awareness. And in a previous Sri Lankan study, it was found that advertising during favorite television programs of children has a considerable effect on food demands of children, which supports our findings in our study. But in contrast to our findings, it has been reported there is a significant negative relationship between maternal education and expenditure on additional food items, including unhealthy foods. So these are our conclusions and recommendations. Television advertisement seems to be the main mode of awareness of various food items for children, and it influences food choices of the children drastically. And parental awareness on healthy food items will be a major determining factor of healthy food choices in children. Thus, parents and children should be well educated on making healthy food choices despite depending on the misleading television advertisements. These are our references. Thank you.
The paper is now open for discussion. Can we have the mic, please?
Congratulations, this is something timely and relevant you have studied, is a very important area. But this has been undertaken in developed world, and please don't take these various types of food as the only cause. In fact, it has been very clearly demonstrated that the people who become obese, very gross obesity, is directly related to lack of exercise. They don't go out and play. It doesn't matter whether whatever they eat, there is clear evidence. Supposing you eat all this stuff, rubbish, but yet you go out and play hell, they do a lot of games. And that is called burning of calories. You burn whatever you ingest. 3,000 kilocalories ingested, 3,000 burnt. So they won't become obese. So there is a very important factor behind this hidden. Not only the food habits, you have mentioned obesity as one of the unwanted effects of this.
Yes.
Obesity may be related to something else as well. Then your conclusion you have to change a little bit.
Thank you for that important point, sir.
Excuse me. Very interesting paper, and I would like to know that you said the duration of TV viewing